Hello, today I'm going to be talking to you about interviewing to make the right long-term hiring decision. It takes a lot of time and effort to hire a new employee. Consider all the resumes to review, the phone calls to make, the take-home projects to evaluate, and the in-person or video interviews to conduct. The hours and number of teammates involved add up quickly. But rushing the process and potentially hiring the wrong person can have far-reaching consequences, costing as much as 3 to 4 times the employee's salary once in the role. As you may already be aware, there are both visible and invisible costs to making a bad hire. The visible costs include things like job advertising and equipment for new hires, while the invisible costs include interviewer and recruiter time, lost productivity and morale, and impact on managers and other team members. Plus, accepting a job offer is a serious decision for the employees themselves, with approximately 45% of candidates saying they've rejected job offers because they felt like the job or company was misrepresented in the interview process. The recruiting and hiring process is a critical moment in establishing a positive employee journey for candidates and organizations alike. When this journey starts well, it's a better experience for all involved, and it is likely to lead to hiring employees who are a better fit for the role. It can also lead to better employee engagement and retention over time. Luckily, there are proven tactics for improving the way managers interview and assess candidates. This session will help you to streamline and structure your interview process as a foundation for the entire employee journey, so your hires will stay and make a positive contribution to your company. So how do we build an interview process that drives employee retention? I am going to here now dive into 5 ways of doing that. So taking a structured approach to interviewing really creates consistency in the way you and your teams interact with and assess candidates. A structured approach means having a plan in advance when it comes to interviews. Every participant in a hiring panel should know what to focus on during an interview and why those focus areas matter for the role. The next 2 steps I will outline will help you and your team find the right candidates and ensure that new employees keep their talents with your organization for the foreseeable future. So, number 1, you need clearly defined roles and expectation. This goes far beyond the job title and list of responsibilities. What impact are you expecting this person to have at your company? And what skills and competencies are required to achieve this? Taking the time to outline this upfront is critical to a smooth and successful hiring process. Why are you making this hire? At a very high level, what do you expect them to accomplish within the first 30, 60, or 90 days on the job? The first year? How will you know why they are successful? You ought to think of the skills and competencies that would help someone be successful in the role. This will likely be a mix of skills related to the role's business function as well as soft skills. Secondly, you need to understand your employer value proposition, which I'll shorten to EVP. This is what motivates employees or attracts talented people to your company. These prompts can be used to create consistency and alignment in your hiring team's messaging and increase candidates' chances of accepting your offer. So before posting a new role, spend time with the hiring team to discuss your employee value proposition or EVP. Here are some questions to discuss. What is your company's EVP? How might the organization's EVP differ from your team's EVP when it comes to this particular role? How are candidates currently reacting to your EVP? Check in with your recruiter to outline the top reasons why candidates are interested in your company and team. You can make note of these and share your points with your hiring team. Thirdly, schedule pre-briefs before interviews. Holding a pre-brief meeting ensures everyone on the hiring team gets the information they need to evaluate the candidate and that everyone's time is used efficiently, including the candidates. These prompts can help you to plan the agenda for your pre-brief meeting. Think of the job description and the list of skills and competencies that are mission critical for the role. Ask your team if they have any questions or concerns with your list. Clarify each interviewer's role. Which skills and competencies is each person responsible for assessing? Come up with a list of questions or prompts for each person to use during their interview. Fourthly, you need to be able to ask great questions. Your goal during the interview is to assess the candidate's skills and competencies. The STAR method can be especially helpful for framing and asking follow-up questions. STAR, as you may know, stands for situation, task, action, and results. You want to get a good sense of what happened, that's the situation. What the candidates needed to do, that's their tasks. What they actually did, their action, and what impact it had, their results. Refer back to the list of skills and competencies for the role. Make a list of questions or prompts that you can use to assess a candidate's technical or business skills. For example, what was the decision you made based on internal or external customer data? Describe a project that failed. What happened? How did you rebound? Still aligning to great questions, you need to consider the soft skills and behaviors you noted as critical for this role. Make a list of behavioral prompts you can use to assess the candidate's capabilities in these areas. For example, tell me about a time when you had to sell an idea to co-workers or a group. This assesses ability to lead. Tell me about a time when you had to juggle several projects at the same time. How did you organize your time? This assesses judgment and prioritization. Give an example of a time when you had to work with someone who was difficult to get along with. Why was this person difficult? How did you handle interactions with this person? When you use behavioral questions, make sure you listen for situation, task, action, and results. And that's the STAR process that I've referred to. Listen out for these things in the candidates' responses. Candidates might not always follow this framework automatically. So you as the interviewer, you may need to prompt them for more details. And finally, you need to ensure that you base interview assessments on fact, not feeling. Make sure you spend time working with your hiring team to think through how they should be assessing candidates. Remember, you've been gathering evidence of whether candidates have displayed certain behaviors or competencies in the past, or whether they have the potential to do so. This approach prevents hiring decisions from turning into mere judgment calls. These prompts will help support your team to do this effectively as they make their decisions about candidates. During the debrief meeting, hold everyone accountable for scoring candidates on displayed competencies rather than their overall impression or gut feeling. Some phrases that can keep the conversation on track include, it sounds like we might be verging into speculation or feelings here. Can we bring the conversation back to the candidate's competencies? Can you share a specific example of something the candidate said that led you to make that decision? And you may be able to come up with your own ideas for other ways to focus your hiring team on competencies and skills. Organizations need to ensure that they are establishing hiring practices that build successful teams. The structured interview approach highlighted in this session can lead to all sorts of benefits for your company. It improves your chances of making the right hire, helps you plan for the future, and not just focus on immediate needs. It keeps your process objective, and it creates a superior candidate experience. Unfortunately, it is rare for managers to spend time honing their interview skills. By some accounts, less than 3% of hiring managers pursue interview training or coaching. So I would implore you to use the strategies outlined here to build good interviewing habits yourself and train your team on how to interview candidates to secure